Hello and welcome to an overview of my Sims 4 fully base game compatible save file. This save is very heavily Sims 2 inspired, so if you're a fan of The Sims 2, hopefully you are a fan of this save. So without further ado, let's hop on in. Welcome to my version of Willow Creek. In Willow Creek, I've kept a lot of the New Orleans style inspiration, especially for the lots here in Foundry Cove, along with everything along the strip here on Crawdad Quarter. But then I did have a couple of Victorian homes over here in Courtyard Lane for some of the older homes, and over here in Pen de la View, some more suburban type homes over here. Every single world is going to have at least one gym, one library, one museum, one rental spot, and then 2 starter homes, and then a plethora of other community lots as well, and residential, of course. So as I said at the start, this is a very Sims 2 inspired save file, so you're going to probably recognize a couple of these families if we mouse over them. So we've got the Pleasants over here, for instance. We've got the Dreamers. We've got the Burbs. I even brought Kaylin Langerak in, as well as her brother. We've got the Caps and the Monties, which are from Veronaville in The Sims 2. Of course, we have the Goths, we must. And then a couple of other families that I made or that I kept from The Sims 4. So the BFFs, for instance, I kept them. I gave them a different house, but they're still here. I created this family, the Anders, and I also created this family over here, the Williams. In each of these neighborhoods, or worlds, I guess, sorry, in each of these worlds, I'm just going to be showing you one community lot and one family, and then we're going to have one family at the end. So let's start out with the community lot. So for Willow Creek, we're going to be diving into the gym, which is called Rinse and Repeat. Alright, welcome to the Willow Creek Gym. It is situated just at the corner, or at the end really, of the strip of community lots in Willow Creek. It's where the museum used to be, but I converted it into a gym. It's right next to the movie theater, just right over here. But the gym itself is 2 stories. In the first floor, you've got a little reception area, and then you can go over into the weight area. Then there's also an area for any kids or toddlers to play and be occupied while your adult or teenage Sims can be working out. Almost all of my lots, really all of the lots that I would imagine your Sims would go to during the day, have a play area like this, so that if you need to, you can bring your toddler or child if you don't want to leave them at home. There's also a large pool, a 2-story pool, I might add, over here, and then through here behind the check-in or reception desk, there are changing rooms and then bathrooms and shower stalls as well. Upstairs we have more shower stalls and bathrooms, and then there's 2 more workout areas. One of them has treadmills, and then the other one has punching bags. There's not too much going on as far as the balconies outside, but I mean, it's a gym, so probably not going to be chilling on the balcony. And then there's just a lovely little overhang to look at the people in the pool. Of course, in real life, this would be a bear to heat and maintain, but it's The Sims, so we don't have to worry about that. There is also, of course, just a way out the back in case your Sims do want to come out back here and grill up some food and sit and eat. And if you have seasons or any other expansion packs, I think just seasons, there's a food stall that pops up somewhere along here. But yeah, that is the gym. Welcome to the Pleasant family household. So they live right next to the Burbs, as you can see on the left, and then across the street from the Williams and diagonal to the Dreamers. So getting into the actual household, we have Mary Sue Pleasant, who is the mother of the household. She has a fortune aspiration, so she wants to be fabulously wealthy. Her husband Daniel, who has the bodybuilder aspiration. Their daughters, who are twins, Lilith and Angela. Lilith is a bit more of the mischievous, sort of problem child of the family. She has the chief of mischief aspiration. And then Angela, who is sort of the goody two-shoes of the family, has the big happy family aspiration. Mary Sue over here just re-entered the business career after her daughters have now been grown enough to be able to be home by themselves. So while she does have the fabulously wealthy aspiration, she only just is level 1 of the business career, but you can help her to start climbing that ladder. Daniel Pleasant is the primary breadwinner, so he is an all-star. He's level 8 of the athletic career, and he needs to gain a couple skills, but he can also be promoted up even more. Next, we have Lilith, who is a D student in high school, so she's not doing terrifically as far as school there, and she also works on the weekends at her job as a lawnmower. And we have Angela, who again is sort of the golden child, so she's an A student in high school, and she is a bean blender, so she's level 2 of the barista career, and she works during the weekdays in the morning. Alright, next we're going to take a look at Oasis Springs. So with Oasis Springs, I tried to keep the mid-century modern vibe that they had going for this area, which is the Parched Prospect, as well as the more Spanish style vibe that was in Mirage Canyon and Skyward Palms. I did even have for the two sort of McMansions a kind of dueling mansion, so there's a Spanish style and then more of a modern style mansion as well. Over here then in Bedrock Strait is where I put the trailers, sort of like Johnny Zest's trailer, so there are a couple of other trailers there as well. Again, every single world has a gym, library, museum, rental, and at least 2 starters, and Oasis Springs is no different. So there is a gym here, the library called Arid Reed over here, the museum, which is called Futures Past over here, and then the rental, which is a motel over here. And then as far as starters, we have 3 actually in Oasis Springs. We have Agave Abode, which is a trailer starter, and we have Rafia Quinta, which is a mid-century modern starter, and then we have Granada Place, which is a sort of Spanish style starter. Welcome to the Oasis Springs Motel, which is called Motel Springs. This is meant to just be the most typical motel ever, and definitely blends in with the desert and continues the sort of mid-century modern vibes. We have on the first floor, well, of course we have the parking lot, but then once you actually drive up on the first floor, we have a lovely area here pointing you to the check-in area, which is right here at the front. This is where you get all your keys. There's a place to sit and watch TV or listen to some music, and then down here is kind of like a dining hall of sorts, although there isn't really a stove. To be fair, but if you do want to make yourself food here, there's grills outside, so there's that. Over here there's just a bathroom also off of the main area. Then in terms of the rooms, we do have doubles and we have a couple of 2 singles as well. So upstairs and downstairs, those are repeated. And then over in the corner, we have more of like a family room kind of thing, family suite. So there's a double bed and then 2 singles. And then there are also 2 single rooms, so to speak, over here. All of them have attached bathrooms and sort of a sitting area and a desk and dresser. So that is the motel. Pretty simple, but it's pretty much a staple, and I'm sure that you've seen a motel that looks like this at some point in the United States, so that was what I was going for. Hopefully I achieved that. Welcome to the Broke household. The Brokes live in this pink trailer right next to the motel. So in terms of the family themselves, we have Brandy Broke, who's out here grilling right now. She has the master chef aspiration. She's very good at cooking, both normal and gourmet cooking, and she would love to be a chef. She is, however, just a babysitter right now. She works on the weekends when Dustin is able to take care of his younger brother, Beau, but if she were to change to a career, it would absolutely be the culinary career. Then we have Dustin Broke. He has the public enemy aspiration, so he's become a bit of a rebel in his teenagedom. He is a C student, but his performance is really poor, and he often skips to help, albeit to help out at home, but it still means that he doesn't do very well in school. He has a job over the weekend to try to help with the bills, so he works as a manual laborer on Saturday and Sunday, and he has a decent amount of skill. He enjoys video gaming and fitness and comedy and mischief. And then we have little Beau, who is an independent little toddler, so he doesn't have a whole lot there for him, but he is very well loved and well-rounded, so he has quite a few skills everywhere as well. Alright, moving on to Newcrest. So for the other two worlds, while I did bulldoze every lot and build it from scratch, I did also have an idea of what the original architectural inspiration was for those worlds, whereas for Newcrest it just starts out fully empty. So I ended up going with a combination of 3 different architectural styles: modern, industrial, and Art Deco. In Newcrest, we have a gym, library, museum, rental, and starter. So the gym over here is called Runners and Jumpers. The museum over here is an aquarium called Winter's Aquarium. The library is over here, Hillside Highlands. And then the rental is just over here, the Newcomers Hotel. And then finally, the starter is all the way over here, called Art Deco Destination. Welcome to Yo Pros and CEOs. This is an Art Deco architecture inspired lot between Vice, which is the nightclub in Newcrest, and Green Thumb, which is the community garden. It's 2 stories. On the first floor, we enter, we have a receptionist area, and then on the left there is a cafeteria, lounge, and dining space. There's a couple of bathrooms, and then on the right you've got a play area for any kids that you might want to bring to the office or to the WeWork type area. There's a couple of lounging spaces, and then through the back you've got a courtyard with a fountain and some garden plots. Upstairs is where the work happens, so we have another kind of lounge space and another chess table, but then over here we have cubicles. So a couple of spaces for you to bring your Sims to get some work done. This is meant to be sort of like, as I said, WeWork type building, but it's also, if you have a Sim who's in the freelancer career, especially freelance programming or freelance writing, this is a great place to bring your Sim during the day when maybe the rest of the Sims are at their jobs, doing in their rabbit hole jobs. You can bring your Sim here and have them get work done during the day. Maybe their daily tasks or working on their skills or anything like that, and they can bring a kiddo if they have one, and they can be working down here. You can have a Sim that you designate as like a nanny or someone to take care of them as well in the first floor if you'd like. However you want to play with it, but I sort of think of this space as a really good space for people in the freelance career. Welcome to the Newcrest retirement home. This is a 2-story home that currently the oldies are living in, but as you enter, you've got a receptionist area. Over on the left, you've got a cafeteria space. Right now, Herb is enjoying some mac and cheese. And then there's, of course, the kitchen space. On the right, after you enter, you've got more of a visitor waiting area. On the left, we have a faux elevator, and then the bathrooms, just common space bathrooms, and then through here is the activity center. So there's some chess tables, painting easels, and a couple places to play cards, and you can play the piano. But yeah, there's also some community boards as you go. Upstairs, we've got another set of bathrooms for anyone to use, and then there are 2 suites, I believe, 3 suites, but 2 of them are false suites. But over here, we have a space that Coral and Herb currently live in, so this is their area. So when you walk in, there's an entrance area, and then past that is the living space. On the right, we have the kitchen and dining room, and then past that is their bedroom, and then the bathroom. So if you were to play in this area, you could absolutely convert both of these, or either of these, into more assisted living space for any of your Sims. My thought was oftentimes elders, if you don't necessarily want them to continue to live in the same house as your young adult Sims or their families, this is a good place for you to move them into. For instance, Janice, who lives in Oasis Springs, in the Williams' bio for that specific Williams household, Janice's daughter Raquel is considering moving her into a retirement home. So if you have any elder Sims that you want to move in here as well with the oldies, feel free to. If you want to move the oldies out, feel free to do that as well. Of course, everything is accessible, wheelchair accessible. I know we don't have wheelchairs in The Sims, but there are ramps everywhere, in the front, in the back, and there's a lovely gardening area and just a really beautiful garden for anyone who ends up living here. So there you have it. There's an overview of my fully base game compatible Sims 4 save file inspired by The Sims 2. We went through 3 lots, 1 in each neighborhood, or world rather, and 3 households, 1 in each world, and then I sort of walked you through all the rest of the lots and households as well. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Download is in the description, but we're gonna go to one more bonus lot that I know is everyone's favorite family, the Goths. Welcome to my version of the Goth household in Sims 4. We have, of course, the classic black and red colors of the Goth family. We have Mortimer Goth, and then his daughter Cassandra Goth, and his son Alexander Goth. In The Sims 4, typically Bella Goth is still with us. In The Sims 2, since this is a Sims 2 inspired save file, I have sort of rewritten the story a bit to fit The Sims 4, but in The Sims 2 originally, Bella has been abducted by aliens, so in The Sims 4, I have her as dead, and I put her in the back over here in the Goth graveyard. But you can, of course, whatever lore you would like to play out with Bella, you can bring her back since she does exist. You can play the lore that I had in mind, which is that Mortimer, after Bella's disappearance, became rather obsessed with space, hence the rocket ship. But yeah, that is up to you. So this is the Goth household. Inside as well as outside, it's very red and black, which are the main Goth colors. Even the outfits for our main family members are pretty red and black. Cassandra, of course, has a lot of black, and she has her, not quite the side pigtails, but I did keep her 2 pigtails, even though they're a little bit more muted in the Sims 4 version. But that is the 2nd floor, and then going up to the 3rd floor is where I've included a bit of lore. So over here is Mortimer's study, where he does all of his astronaut and space research. He's trying to find Bella, in my eyes. And then over here is what was Bella's old study. So one possible thing that you could do or imagine in terms of lore is that she used to be a agent of some sort, secret agent, so she was missing in action. That's another way that you could spin it. Or maybe she did in fact die. It's up to you. But maybe something in a mission had her going to space for some reason, and so that's why Mortimer is so obsessed with space. But we do on the 4th floor. I think this is the only build that I've made in this save that has 4 floors, but on the 4th one we have the lovely, extremely clunky observatory, which I know clips a decent amount. You'll have to forgive that. I made this before we had those 2x2 telescopes, so this was the best option that I had as far as putting a telescope on the roof. Feel free to replace that if you like. I do kind of like the throwback to when we only had this telescope, which was not that far of a throwback. That's really only a couple months ago. But that is the family. Of course, we have Mortimer, who is engaged to Dina Caliente, and Cassandra, who's engaged to Dawn. So it's up to you if you want those relationships to pan out or not, but they're there if you would like them. But that's it. That's the Goth family in my eyes. Thank you so much again for listening and watching the overview of my base game compatible save file for The Sims 4. Download link is in the description. I'm also going to include instructions on how to download a save in case this is the first time that you're downloading a save. Thanks so much again, and have a lovely rest of your day. Bye, everyone.